Let me know when you're ready.
Thank you, Daddy.
All right, I have your blessings.
If making it easy to be an illegal alien isn't enough.
Government is another way to say better than you.
In fact, you know how fast a 5-cent hooker goes down.
No sane country would do that.
Cruz and Kasich are in it for a participation trophy.
No. What you represent to them is freedom.
Hosted by the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash.
Just remember, all hate mail comes to me.
The Southside Mutts Show.
Cheerleader. I don't have the boots for it.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Southside Mutts Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash. And we are digging up the dirt on the news. Now, tonight, it's probably just going to be little old me. I actually feel sorry for Crash tonight. I really do. His second oldest girl, well, brought the boyfriend over for dinner to meet dear old dad. And I'm sure dear old dad is having heart palpitations right now. So, what we're going to start off with is a continuation from the Reaver of Common Sense show. I've had a little battle with these people, and they keep instigating it, so I keep going on with it. I don't know how many of you know about the IRS scandal. These people call up and say they're from the IRS, they're from a certain division, and that if you don't pay, they're going to have you arrested and a bunch of other stuff. Now, most people blow it off, laugh at them. Some of the people that just want to stay within the law, curtail to it and fall for the scam. So I spent a large portion of today calling them up and annoying the hell out of them. And I put them on my radio show this afternoon. And I was kind of starting to leave them alone. Because they called me this morning with the, this is the IRS, you owe back taxes, and you need to contact us and pay up and all, yada, yada, yada. Let's see if, I think I still have the voicemail. Let me see. So I can play it for you so you know exactly what they're saying to people. Crap. Somehow, some reason, I don't. Crap. Thought I did. Well, anyway, I mean, they just got busted recently, so this is a new ring, and they're trying to get up and going. And I will forewarn, if you have young kids around, you might want not allow them near the, and whatever your listening device is. Because they have a tendency to lose their mind with me interrupting them. Because it's stopping them from making money. Speaking of Dean, he called in. How you doing, Crash?
Yeah, I'm doing.
How's your blood
I'm not
pressure?
sure how long. Well, it's there. I'm not sure how long I'm staying on, though.
Oh, why is that?
Oh, he's still here. So I'm just tired. Stuck outside for a cigarette. Sure,
Well-
I'll give you a call.
I'm going to put you on hold real quick, okay?
Yeah, of course you are.
Extension is unavailable. Please leave your message after the tone. When
Crap.
What?
They disconnected the number.
Oh, are you trying that again?
Oh, yeah, they tried to, they left me another voicemail earlier. Let's try it again. I'm going to put you in on it right away. Hold on.
Extension is on. Please leave your message after the tone. When done, hang up or press the pound key.
That's, oopsie. I hung up on Crash. Call back Crash. Come on. There we go. There we go.
Dude, you suck with that switchboard, man.
No, I know.
Keep hanging up on me.
I know. I'm sorry. I tried tagging you in on the call. I don't know if they just shut it down for the night or what, but yeah, they called back and left another message that they're from the IRS. I had one of the girls on for 9 minutes and 49 seconds, and I kept telling.
That was your record?
Oh yeah, I kept telling her, "This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep you on the phone. Bye, bye." And she had a really cute voice, so I started messing with her that she ought to be a sex phone operator. And, I really went into it. And the next thing I know, I'm getting, yeah, uh-huh. I'm like, oh, my God.
Are you serious?
Yes. I was being quite vulgar, too. Yeah, I'll admit, I was being very, very vulgar at that point. Or very descriptive, I should say. But I kept her on the phone, and I kept telling her this. And the thing is, I don't lie to him. I tell him, this is what I'm going to do. I am going to keep you on the phone so you can't be pulling any scams. Then I had one of the guys get on, or I got a hold of one of the females, and she goes on. She starts asking me if I'm married. Next thing I know, I hear, "That's my girlfriend, dude. You goddamn faggot." I'm like, well, if I'm gay and that's your girlfriend, she was asking me some rather personal questions. Does that make her a guy and you gay? Click. I was like,
Nice.
They are not that smart. They cannot think on the fly.
No, the one yelled at you for taking all of her money.
Oh, yeah, she started crying. That was funny. That was hysterical.
That's probably because you blocked her from getting a con job done.
Oh, I kept doing it. I kept interrupting, and I told him, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop you from making phone calls. Oh, don't matter. Well, after a while, when they start realizing they're losing money.
Obviously, it matters.
Exactly.
Because actually, don't they have to pay for, like, all incoming and outgoing or something like that, isn't it?
I have no idea. It's...
Well, actually, no, it probably doesn't, because they probably use one of those voice over IP services where everything's unlimited and free. So it actually probably doesn't cost them anything other than just the aggravation of having to deal with it. But you get enough
dealing with
but you get enough people doing that, and there you go.
Oh, from what I understand, they're making some good money pulling this scam. They're pulling in some good money.
Well, obviously. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing it.
The one guy, though, was trying to tell me how they've been doing it for 50 years. Really?
I wouldn't doubt it.
I don't know about 50 years. Come on, 50 years?
No, think about it. The only thing that keeps changing is the media that's being used. But, I mean, there was mail order. I mean, dude, even in the 80s and the 90s, there were still mail scams going on, where you'd get the official letter and you had to send a deposit.
Yeah,
people were writing personal checks or getting cashier's checks and Western Unioning money.
What's funny is that I found out people are actually going and getting prepaid Visa cards and all that and giving them the number, going and buying Walmart cards and giving them the number to pay for their tax debt.
Yeah.
That one right there kind of has me going, all right, I can sympathize with a scam, but that one really, come on. If the federal government's asking for a Walmart card, you really have to think about if this is real.
Now, if you're using a prepaid card to pay for something like that, you've already got it in the back of your head that you don't want them actually having your true banking information. If it's the actual government, they've already got your true banking information, because guess what? The IRS, they don't come after you that way. You get a notice in the mail, usually after all of a sudden you realize that your accounts are frozen and they're garnishing your freaking wages to pay back what you owe them, supposedly. And they just go in and take it. They don't. There's none of this phone call stuff. Give us your numbers and we'll arrange. No, they just go in there and take the shit.
Well, that's the thing.
That's how the
The
federal
IRS
government
came
does
out
it.
and
So-
said if we're going to be doing this, we would we'd be sending letters first. If anything, you'd be getting a letter from us.
Yeah, it's all BS. I mean, as much as I disagree with a lot of the tactics our government uses, if they're going to do strong arm, they don't. It's not halfway. They go all the way strong.
Yeah.
If they're actually doing it by the book, there's a whole process they have to follow. There's letters. It's got to be signed. There's got to be a proof of receipt of the letter. It's a whole long, drawn-out process that gives you the ability to fight it if it's done properly. If they do the strong-arm tactics, they don't pussyfoot around with a Walmart gift card. Like I said, they just go after your bank account. Or you come home and you find the foreclosure notice or the seizure notice on your front door.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and that's. I also want to try to educate people while I'm doing this so that they don't fall for this, because there is elderly. You have people like within the 70-year, 80-year range that they have such a fear of the IRS that they'll do anything to get them off their back, because they come from a time period when, IRS was kind of a mafioso type fear in American people.
And they're not still?
They're not like they were.
Well, I'll kind of say yes and no on that. It's not as broad-reaching as it used to be, but I mean, look at what they were doing to different political groups. If you were conservative,
well, I'm not saying that they don't
audited.
still have a strong arm. They're not. They don't have the power and tactics that they used to have. I mean, they used to be able to randomly just start throwing people's tax returns into audit. Now there's new laws that, they have to have a reason to audit your taxes. They just can't, like they used to randomly, like every 5 tax returns, grab it and audit it. They now have to show proof.
I thought they still did that.
No, I forget which president it was, said that's not right. We should not have a government agency just randomly, I'm going to audit you for no reason.
Speaking of government agencies, I was watching something today, and I got a kick out of this. And it was a comparison clip. All this stuff going on about the elections being rigged, right?
Yeah.
The election's rigged, and Obama did the whole big thing. The federal government has nothing to do with the election process. It's the states that set up the voting booths. It's the states that run it. We have no interest in this. There's no way that the federal government can have any control over the election process. And everybody's accusing Trump of being a conspiracy theorist because the elections are rigged by the DNC. Yet, what was it? The day prior or a day after that, you've got Clinton. Actually, she did it during the third presidential debate, I think. Russia is trying to influence the election by hacking the DNC, and they're trying to rig the election, and this and that. And then Department of Homeland Security guy gets on national TV saying, "I think we need to put some new controls in place for the federal government to safeguard the election process and to ensure that it is done in an impartial manner."
Yeah, and I made that point.
Say, you have no interest, yet you obviously have lots of interest because you're directing your department heads to do this.
Yeah, I made the point that they're crying, and Obama actually said, "Don't be whining about rigged election," which really makes me laugh because what did he do during the 2008 the run for office? He complained that the elections were rigged. He did exactly what Trump's doing. So, I have no sympathy for that. And, we can't have this because Russia's rigging it, but you can't complain that it's rigged.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
That's all a bunch of BS.
Pick up your toys. I know you want to go home now.
Put your helmet back on.
All right, make sure the window's clean before you go licking it.
I was wondering which one of us was going to go with window liquor first.
Oh, well, I got on my Facebook page. I found it by accident. It's got a little baby, and it's licking the window, and it just says, "Don't be a window licker." It's actually a very cute baby. Just sitting around like, I'm an idiot.
These schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
I can
That's a
speak
great
to
movie.
dolphins. I can
Love
taste
that
the color blue. Oh, God. That was just way off. Way off. But, yeah, it's amazing the I'm going to whine about everything going on, but you can't whine. The problem is it's resonating with the voters big time.
Yeah, the voters are getting tired of it.
Oh, yeah, but it's resonating with them so much right now. That's why they don't want them doing it, because it's helping them.
There is I don't remember if it was last week or if it was the week before, where I made sure to thank Obama.
Thanks,
for
Obama.
the good job that he's doing, for the phenomenal job that he's doing when it comes to our Second Amendment rights. I can't remember. It was 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago, whatever it was. But I was checking around today at some of the sporting goods stores after work, and because they had a lot of really good sales going on. I need to get a new hunting rifle, so I was looking to see what looked good, what piqued my interest.
Go to the store and buy the meat like everybody else where the animals aren't harmed.
I gotta tell you. Now, hold on. We're gonna go into that in a minute. You just remind me of a conversation that happened at my house tonight.
Oh, God. Please tell me one of your kids didn't say that.
But they're all sold out. I mean, even checking other stores that are close by, like within 100 miles, sold out. So not just the ones that are on sale, not just, a rifle that's $30 off or 10% off, but even just stock models that have no discount. I mean, all the most popular common sporting rifles that you can get in New Jersey, they're sold out.
I wonder if that has to do with a recent article.
12 gauges. It's freaking hysterical. I'm just getting the biggest kick out of it.
Well, there's an article in one of the news sites that said Hillary Clinton, one of her first things, she's going to be banning the common weapons that hunters and Second Amendment enthusiasts use.
So please define what.
That's the thing. It was very open-ended of the common weapons that are used.
That's really going to kind of where you're at. I mean, if you hunt in the state of New Jersey, then common would be
I know
17
that.
HMR.
But now
22.
you know why probably you might have trouble finding those rifles.
Yeah. No, it's just I just get a kick out of it. The thing is, it's not going to change anything, and it's not going to stop anything.
Well, the number one gun salesman running from 2008 until 2016, the award goes to President Obama.
The funny thing is, everybody's so afraid of them. That's the thing I get the biggest kick out of. Is everybody's, all these activists jump up and down. They jump up and down about how unsafe it is that we have all these guns in the U.S. and everything else. If you actually look at the numbers, how many weapons, personal weapons, I mean, rifle, pistol, shotgun, that the military would issue to ground troops if they invaded the U.S. Let's say that we did turn our army on our own citizens. Look at how many rounds of ammunition and how many weapons they have access to, and then look at how many are in private ownership in the U.S. It's not a wash, not even by a close margin. It's not a wash. It does not equal out. That's the irony. Is an armed society really is a polite society. I mean, we've gone over it plenty of times in this show. Look at where all the gun crime's at. Look at where all the news they keep pointing to. Look at the areas. Look at the states. Look at the jurisdictions where all of it occurs. It does not occur as heavily or as prevalent. It's not as prevalent in areas that have very pro firearms laws. It's.
All right, so
I'm just gonna
which
pick out of it.
kid said what?
Okay, yeah. So we had fish tonight. Let's see. We did tilapia and was it cod? No, it wasn't cod. No, we didn't do cod tonight. We did tilapia and flounder. Kelly fried. She baked up some flounder tonight. Pretty damn good. So what was it? Ella said something. My youngest, she said something about the fish, and I made a joke about going hunting, and she's like, well, she's like, what she said? I can't remember exactly what she said, but she said something about getting meat from an animal. She's like, you should just stick with fishing. It's like, well, sweetie, where do you think the meat for the fish comes from? Oh yeah. But people don't get as upset about fish. They get upset about the animals in the woods. Well, yeah, all right, that's true.
Because Bambi's cuter.
Yeah, and then she looks. She's like, well, okay, I guess it's okay if you're going to eat an animal. That's not so bad. Just as long as you're not wearing it. Like,
so you want the hide to go to waste?
Like, sweetie. I just looked at her. I was like, sweetie, that leather that winter leather coat that you got that you really really like and you want to wear? You're waiting for it to get cold enough to wear. Yeah. Like, where do you think leather comes from? The store. Like, here we go again. Sweetie, that comes from either a deer or a cow, or leather is animal skin. That's actually what it is. I mean, true leather is animal skin.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, their skin's soft. And, like, that was it. Once she knew what it was, that was it. She was fine with it. She was good. She was done. She sat down. She ate her fish, and then asked if she can go hunting with me this season again. I mean, I don't think, and I keep telling her, I don't know if you truly understand what happens when you hunt.
I take rifle,
like, no,
me go bang, animal go.
No, what she said was, she's like, no, I know. You kill the animal, and then we get to eat the animal. I was like, well, yeah. She's like, I just don't want to see it. I was like, you don't want to see the animal afterwards? She's like, I just don't want you to hang it up on the wall. That's just really mean to that animal. Like,
why? They're dead. They don't care.
It gets hung on the wall.
It's dead. They don't mind. Really.
Yeah, but honestly, that's the only. I mean, that's the real dig. I mean, like, kids don't want to actually. They don't want to actually see the process. They don't want to be a part
I
of
can
the cleaning.
somewhat understand that, because when I went up to my grandfather's farm, I had trouble eating the meat because usually it was a chicken I was playing with that morning, and something about eating the chicken you were just playing with, gives a whole new meaning to choking the chicken. All right, I had to throw that joke in there. But no, I honestly had trouble eating chicken because, well, I might have just been, chasing it around, having some fun with it.
Yeah, and, that's the thing. And a lot of people have trouble with that. And, I can understand that. That's what my kids get hung up on. That's the part they don't want to see. That's perfectly fine. As long as they understand what it is, where it comes from. And I'm even, my wife's had them on this whole thing about, if we grow our own vegetables, it's healthier. There's not as many chemicals.
Vegetables ripped out of the ground. It's screaming, can't you hear it?
All that. She's been introducing them to all that stuff, and I'm supposed to be on this new diet, and some of the stuff on there, it does say fresh or free range, and for like poultry and bird and stuff like that. And I can't remember which one of your nieces asked about it, and I was like, well, the difference is if it was raised in captivity, it's been given injections, it's been given antibiotics, it's been given medicines, it's been given growth hormones. There's a lot of stuff that they've been exposed to or they've been given. Whereas free range, or if you actually go out and you hunt the animal, what's in their body, what you're going to be consuming when you eat that meat, is going to be different. It's actually a lot healthier to go. If I were to go hunting, in 2 weeks,
they usually have a different taste too.
What's that?
There's a definite different taste from us, farm raised to free ranged wild.
Oh yeah, because it's all
Yeah.
It's all based on where that animal actually eats. I mean, if you get like up here, I mean, if you go duck hunting and it's in the marshlands by the bay,
Mm-hmm.
where you've got salt water and you've got certain things, that duck is going to taste a lot different than duck that you get on the Delaware side.
Yeah.
Even though it could be two black ducks, you could get two black ducks.
They pick up the
but they're
taste
gonna
of
have
the
different
surround.
Exactly. Yes. But you know what? But as long as you don't get it off a contaminated site, it's still. I mean, honestly, I'd rather have it, off of nature than, And it's the funny thing is all these animal activists, they jump up and down about me going out in the woods to, shoot a bird, because that seems humane.
Bang,
like, have
dead.
you ever watched? Yeah, it's like, have you ever watched any of the documentaries on how these chickens get brought into a slaughterhouse?
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, when you go and you buy that stuff, I mean, they're put on conveyor belts while they're still alive. I mean, it's all in a factory. But that's humane for them? I mean, these factories kill hundreds of thousands a day, whereas, I've got a bag limit. I can only get, depending on what I'm going after, 1, maybe 3. That's it. And, seriously, try feeding a family of 6 off of 3 ducks.
Yeah.
And you wonder why people had to hunt full time 100 years ago.
Well, we've talked about it before. Conservatives are a little bit more cautious about their hunting. They understand the whole nature and equal balance and, all that.
Yeah. And that's what it is. It's a balance. It's a balancing act between us and them.
Nature.
Yeah. Can you hold on a second, please?
Yeah. It's weird.
Hey, shut up. Do you guys have Oliver?
Yes? Sounds like one of the animals that got loose. So, brain fart. Yeah, it's the indoctrination of our kids is really weird. You back?
Okay, it's just his doppelganger then. Never mind. No.
Uh-oh.
And no. You all stay in the house. I'm scaring it away.
Sounds like he's got a handful. He'll be back in a second. We're going to go to commercial. It's you're listening to the Southside Mutts right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, iTunes, and Speaker. We will be right back.
At the same size?
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Now, at Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. We also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reverb of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplains.dailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cow for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutts Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reverbcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reverb Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reverb of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Southside Mutts Show with its host, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash. We are digging up the dirt on the news. Fuck you, Crash. You couldn't mess me up. The Southside Mutts Show is every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. till 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. Don't forget, if you want a fucking kick-ass t-shirt, go to reaver.1/shop. Now that Crash is done trying to grab the pussy, we can get on with the show.
Italian pussy, Spanish pussy, smelly pussy.
If we don't got it, you
don't want it.
Oh, my virgin. Oh, my God. I was so offended. Grow up.
Give it 10 seconds. I bet Bill Clinton calls in.
Wait a minute. I heard someone's got pussy. Hey, you don't joke around about that type of stuff.
You got any cigars?
Oh, and I thought the cigars stunk from the start. God. All right, where are we?
No idea.
Oh, I do have a major announcement. I'm being serious. I have a major announcement on Friday on the Reverb Common Sense show. I will be interviewing Project Veritas. I don't know which member of it, but I will be interviewing Project Veritas. I might even have James O'Keefe on. James O'Keefe.
Damn.
Guess who? Where did he go to college?
What's that?
Where did he go to college?
Who?
James O'Keefe.
No clue.
Rutgers. Rutgers for journalism taught him how to.
Really? Huh. I didn't know that.
Go undercover and expose corruption in our government. I don't care who he's exposing. You know what? It's the truth, and that to me is all that matters.
That's the thing. A good investigative journalist. I mean, yeah, you've got to be passionate about what you're going to go after. So, I mean, yeah, most of them, a lot of them do tend to stick with certain areas or certain sides of things because that's what they get truly passionate about. And you always do your best work when you're most passionate about it.
Oh yeah.
But if you're going to call yourself an investigative journalist or a reporter, then you've got to do it in as non-biased of a method as possible, and go after the whole story, not just the half that suits a personal narrative or a paycheck narrative. Go after the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
If you don't like where it leads, well, you know what? That sucks, but it's still the news.
Yeah. The truth leads you to the truth, whether you like it or not. And that's what we're seeing is the truth of what's going on and the corruption.
And eventually the truth's going to come out regardless. I mean, it's an old thing. I mean, it takes a hell of a lot less energy. You burn more energy trying to maintain a lie than you do just stating the truth one time. It sounds stupid, but it's the truth. I mean, it's the truth.
No, and that's the thing. You got to remember the lie. You got to remember it told what lie to who, and it's like, holy shit! It's
not worth it. I mean, to me, it's not worth it. It's really not. Because Christ, I tried dating two women at the same goddamn time.
Yeah,
that was freaking hard as goddamn enough. I mean, Christ.
Yeah.
No, we're not going to go down that hole. Right?
Yeah. That might get us in trouble. Thank God the wife doesn't listen.
Well, you know mine doesn't.
Yeah. Well, they're both liberals. Well, Allie, she's a registered Democrat, but she doesn't vote Democrat. That's the funny part. She does it because she doesn't want to get shit from her father, and it's easier for her to just to appease him. And I'm not going to tell her what to do when it comes to that. I think it's stupid. She wants to.
Yeah, vote. Well, I mean, the funny thing is, the registrations. I mean, it's already been shown that the registrations don't overly matter. I mean, really, the only time I've really ever seen them matter is during, well, at least from what I can remember when I worked the election board stuff up here. Very briefly, the only time you having a declared party really had an impact was during primaries.
Well, do me a favor. Explain to me.
You couldn't vote.
Explain to me the laws of New Jersey, how it works. If someone comes in and says they're so and so, how does it go back? I come in and I say I'm Joe Schmo here to vote. What's the next step?
Well, hold on, I gotta let her sit up for this conversation.
That's always.
Well, again, it's been a few years since I've done it, so I don't know what the.
I haven't heard of any law changes in New Jersey for voting.
But the best of my recollection when I was doing it was. If you showed up, you said, "Hi, I'm Joe Schmo here to vote."
Joe Schmo from Kokomo.
Doesn't matter where the hell you're from. All right? Because if you're at your polling station, if you're at the place where you're supposed to vote, your name is in a book. All right? We have your name in a book with a copy of an imprint of your signature. And you have to, in order to get your ballot, in order to get your ticket to go to the voting machine, I have to find your name and then have you sign the book. So I'm looking at your signature compared to your original signature. So I'm comparing the two signatures up. So one, your name has to be there. Two, your signature has to match the signature that you just gave me. Now, if the signatures don't match, I can request a contest. Okay, so I can contest whether or not you are who you say you are. That's really about all I can do. I can say that, okay, the signature doesn't match. And then I have to get 2 other people, and they have to be from separate parties, because anybody that's working at the election poll, you have to be declared. You have to have
declare.
X number. You have to have X number of people. It has to be almost equal, okay, Republicans and Democrats, all right, that are working at the polling station. And you have to get representatives from both parties, and everybody compares the signatures. Now, if the consensus is the signature matches, you go ahead and you vote. Doesn't matter what the hell I said. If the consensus is it does not match, we could request ID. You don't have to show it. You're not required to have it with you. I give you a written ballot. I give you a written ballot. I take you over to a side table, give you the write-in ballot. You fill out the write-in. You fold it up. You put it into an envelope. You seal it, and then I take that. I put it into another envelope, and you watch me seal it. And then that goes into a locked container. And then at the end of the day, when the tapes are run, we take the tapes and the cassette cartridges, along with the write-in box or bag, depending on what it is, and then all that stuff together gets put into a locked container, and then that all gets dropped off at the county registrar's office that night.
Okay.
So it's really...
So if there's not a consensus and there's a split, and you request that, if there's not a consensus, one says yes it is, and another says no, the signatures don't match.
There has to be a consensus, because you have to have at least, if I'm saying it doesn't match, I've got to have at least 2 other people from opposing parties look at it.
So what happens if they say one says yes and the other one says no?
Well, then I was the swing vote. So if I said that it didn't match, I'm contesting it because it did not match.
So they don't get the vote.
The verdict is it does not match. It would take both of them to say that yes, it matches, to override what I said. Or if it was a larger polling station, then it could be 2 and 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans, and then me. But it's an odd number every single time. You cannot have an even number. Even at the polling stations, you cannot have an equal number of Democrats and Republicans. Usually what ends up happening is you have an equal number of the Democrats and the Republicans that are the poll workers, but the person that's running the polling station will be either a Democrat or a Republican. That's usually your odd man out. That's usually that 5th person or that 7th person.
Right. See, I am. Yeah, it does, and I think I become very used to Florida, and I'm liking what they do. And one of the things is, you walk in, you pull out your driver's license. It has to have your address on it, your name, and a signature on it. They scan that into a computer because we got the black strips, so it gets scanned in. It pulls up all the information. You sign to attest that you are who you say you are. They make sure that the signatures match up still then. Even after all that, they make sure that the signatures match up. Then you're able to vote. And I have no problem with that. My parents have no problem with it. I know minorities, and they don't have a problem with it.
Well, the funny thing is, a lot of people, we can't require. Now, here's the other side of it. If I request ID and you present it voluntarily, well, it's quasi-voluntary if I requested it. But if I request your ID and you present it, that's not a problem. But I'm told I'm not supposed to request. However, if you just present your ID, I'm allowed to match that. And if the address doesn't match, the address on file, if the signatures don't match, if anything doesn't match, that's just more grounds for me to contest you saying you are who you say you are. Now, the funny thing is, anytime I go to vote, even though I know the rules, I walk in, I drop my driver's license down on the table. I tell Mom, Dean, yeah, I'm so-and-so. I drop my license down. And,
sorry, go ahead.
It took you a second before you realized what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, it's funny. Half the time we've been doing this tonight, I don't even feel like we're actually on the air. I feel like it's just you and I BS.
I accidentally earlier when you called, I was like, "Hey,
I know. Yeah, I know. I caught that. But I'll give him my name. I drop my license. Oh, sir, we don't need to see that. I was like, oh, well, okay, that's fine. I'll have some people tell me that. I'll have other people say, well, I appreciate that very much, but I didn't need to see that. Yeah, that's fine. Sure. I am who I say I am. I got no problem hiding it. You know, it doesn't faze me.
I don't know what the big issue is. Well, I know what the big issue is. They don't want ID, so therefore they can get whoever they want, bust in over the state line like they've been doing the last 50 years. Oh, wait a minute. That video was edited. Oh, God.
You know, the thing that really chaps my butt about all that is, I mean, Christ, I want to go to the public library to take out a book. I have to prove
who I am.
ID that I live in the county, that I'm allowed to use the county library. I have to prove that I have access to that library based on where I live. Because
I go to the doctor.
I want to go to the bank. If it's a new teller, I mean, unfortunately, I've got a small bank. Most of the tellers there know me, so they just, I walk in, they greet me by name. But if there's a new teller, I'm sorry, sir, may I see your ID? Sure, no problem. Here it is. I go to the doctor. Mr. So-and-so, we need to see your ID. They freaking know me, but it's the protocol. I show them my ID. Mm-hmm. You know, I want to go buy cigarettes or beer. Can I see your ID? Here's my ID.
Here's your sign.
I want to vote for the leader of the free world. Are you breathing? No? Well, that's okay. We can still take the write-in. I mean, it's and people wonder why, everybody laughs that the election process is a joke. Well, this is why. Because in all reality, it is. We've got better controls over tobacco products than we do over the election.
You know what? I never even thought about that.
I mean, think about it. It's sad. I mean, it's truly sad.
Oh, that's a touchy situation with my father when you start talking about smoking. Now, he doesn't smoke anymore. Neither do I. But he hates this, smoking's bad, but drink all you want. Smoking's bad. Oh, but if you want, we want to legalize marijuana for you. But no smoking cigarettes, no doing this, no doing that. They're picking on certain things, and he's real big on the drinking, too. They don't pick on the drinking at all.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because most of those politicians are getting their ass drunk.
Well, the funny thing is, most of these politicians smoke cigars.
Yeah. Oh, we had that here in Florida a couple years ago.
Cigars are taxed differently. And that's the fucked up thing, is cigarettes have the highest tax rate. Yeah. You want to smoke cigars? You want to do pipe tobacco? It's cheaper.
No, not now. And it was complained about because we have in my area, we have tobacco. I mean, where they're sitting there hand-rolling cigars and all that. It's little Havana, Ebor. And the last governor, I think it's got raised since then, too. But they went after the tobacco for cigars and pipes. And, oh, my God, the backlash he got from the politicians. And he even came out and said, listen, I'm not going to hit the cigarettes while you guys are smoking cigars and not paying extra in taxes. It's not right. So if you want me to raise taxes on tobacco, I'm raising it across the board and not giving the politicians a pass. And I think they did something with the alcohol. And he made sure to tax the wine on top of it, too.
You got this. Well, yeah, it's got to go both ways.
And that's what he did. And I used to have respect for this politician, but not no more. Charlie Crist. That guy was a fucking...
Well, here's one for you. In New Jersey, the Department of Health, they're pushing this whole new initiative now to make all... I'm trying to think of the term that was used in one of the advertisements. I think it's adjoined housing. So condos, apartments, anything where your structure physically touches an adjacent structure, to make them 100% tobacco-free, because the smoke can penetrate through cracks and can expose a non-smoking person to smoke. And that's unfair. That's the new one.
So, in my personal house, you're now going to tell me what I can and can't do.
Go.
Number one, try enforcing what I do in my house because you're going to need a warrant to come in.
Well, here's the irony. Well, not the irony, but the thing is, I can almost see it from both sides. Because honestly, you and I had the discussion. Just with smoking marijuana in a public or a semi-public place. If you're smoking marijuana in your apartment, and I live above you, and I happen to be a crane operator, well, I could end up popping positive and lose my job just because of that. So how is that fair to me? The thing is, it's an extremely touchy issue, and I can understand both sides of it. And that's the thing, because I am a smoker, and I didn't used to be, and I can see both sides of it. I truly can. But there's got to be a way to balance the rights of one with the rights of the other. You cannot. Just the same as I can't force my will upon you. How is it right for you to force your will upon me?
All right.
That's not correct either. It's. Yeah, I don't know. As far as the government mandating what I can and can't do in my own house. Hey, Christ, they've been doing that for freaking how long?
Oh.
Look at some of the stupid-ass laws about even, as ridiculous as this sounds, oral sex is illegal in several states still.
Oh, true. Yeah, but I'm a rebel. I am a rebel, and I tear that tag off of all my mattresses. I am a rebel without a cause and without a clue.
The thing is, it's the catch-22. Honestly, I look at it from the standpoint of, you know what? I'm not going to purposely expose anybody to something that's harmful. If you don't want to be exposed to it, then fine. I'm not going to expose you to it. Yes, I smoke. I don't smoke around my kids. I don't smoke inside my house. The closest I come to smoking inside my house is the entryway to my garage. That's really about it. I don't want to make my kids sick. But at the same time, it's still my personal right to light up a cigar or a cigarette if I want to. That's my right. There's nothing illegal about it.
It's, I don't know. You've made a good point, honestly, but it's also, I don't know. There's fine lines on where to go with some of this and how far to go with it. And
there really is. But see, that's the problem. Where's the line? It is a fine line. It's an extremely fine line. Yeah. But where is it? Who gets to decide where that line is? That's the problem.
I don't know. I don't know.
See, that's the thing. Nobody knows. And honestly, that's the most honest thing that anybody can say about it is, I don't know where the line's at. I don't know what it should be done. It doesn't mean the conversation shouldn't be had. It doesn't mean that possible solutions shouldn't be looked at. But if you don't know where that line is, what gives you the right to mandate that this is where the line's going to be? You already don't know where it should be, so why should it be there? You've got no evidence. You've got no proof. You've got no reason to indicate that the line should be there, opposed to there, opposed to there. So what, just because you're an elected official and you're trying to get your name on some feel-good legislation, that gives you that right to decide where the lines are? No,
it's got me kind of
caught off guard.
Yeah, I don't have an answer for it. So.
That's the thing. Honestly, that's my point. Is nobody has an answer for it. They really don't. Christ. Look at the stuff that you and I used to do for a living. Shit. How many guys would stand in the apparatus bay, smoking cigarettes, smoking cigars? Yet some asshole would fire up a diesel engine in an enclosed bay in the wintertime to warm up the truck, and you had people running out of the fucking building due to fumes. So
that would always make me laugh. Yeah, but it's
Which
also a
one's
bunch of
sending you to the
firefighters.
hospital?
What do? We run into fire. We breathe smoke. And, oh, you're smoking a cigarette. Can you please go away from me? I don't want to smell that cigarette.
No, let's be clear. That wasn't in the firehouse.
No, I've had that in the
was in-
firehouse.
Oh, did you? I never
Oh,
ran
yeah.
into that firehouse.
Oh, yeah.
See, that one I never got. I never got that. I mean, when I first started, I didn't smoke. I smoked cigars. Once in a while, I would smoke a cigar when I first started. That was it. But I'd still hang out in the crew room. I'd still hang out in the apparatus bay with all the rest of the guys. You guys were hey, you know what? If I didn't want to be around it, I could walk the fuck away.
Yep.
Nobody's forcing me to be there. It's not like you're sitting on. Well, that one dumbass did, but But,
all right, wrap it up.
It's like people. I mean, people are looking for the government to dictate where free will is.
Yeah.
But you know what? You have free will. You can choose to be or to not be in certain places, just the same as I can. So it is. That's why it's called free will.
Yeah.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
And on that note, we will be back next week. You've been listening to the Southside Mutts Show. I'm Jersey Joe, and that one's Crash. I will be back. I will be back tomorrow, 11 a.m. for the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media. Stick around. We have Ken the Conservative coming up next, and then at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. What is that? 8 o'clock Pacific?
Yeah.
Got to do the math. Carry the 1, divide by 2, multiply times 3.
Fortunately, it's California, not like Arizona, where you actually have to adjust that 2-hour or 3-hour difference, depending on the time of year.
Jesus, yeah.
So,
but at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 8 o'clock specific time, you have the Sackheads radio show. Until then, we'll see each other next week. Have a good night. Oh, wait a minute. Oops. See, you got me yammering. I forgot to post. You forgot to tell me to post the closing. It's all your fault. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.